So I'm here taking some of the top of the worm composting box. Can you see, oh my goodness, I don't know if I can point to it with my thumb. You see that little thing right there? That is one of the egg cases. I definitely don't want to bring that out. I want that to stay here in the worm bin. But I am filling this bag. So far I've put the Mexicrop seaweed in here. I put some ground up alfalfa meal. I put a little bit of green sand and also some clay. And now I'm adding this, and it's gonna go into that bucket right there, and I'm gonna set up with molasses. I'm gonna start brewing some compost tea. I'll link this video underneath with the other videos that I've done making compost tea. It is definitely time for me to feed the garlic out there in the garden, and the compost tea is the best way to do it. And this weekend, well, actually starting late on Wednesday and going into Thursday and Friday, is good for roots according to my biodynamic calendar. So this will have a few days to prepare, and I will show you what happens after that. So you want to keep your aerators above the level of the water so that the water can't back up if the power goes off and ruin your electricity. And they also make these little gadgets that prevent the flow from going the other way. However, I only had 2 of those. So anyway, let's see what happens here. All right, the stones are still good. So I'm gonna pour some unsulfured molasses in here to give the microbes a little something to eat. Hold on just a moment. I'm gonna stir this around with my hand too, so it will make a sort of golden color. And that's, I don't know, that's maybe about a tablespoon and a half. I'm just gonna submerge the bag that has all the food for the microbes and the extra minerals in it. And I'm gonna just link this here on the side of the bucket so it doesn't float off and it stays as close to the bubbling action as possible. Now, I just use the rainwater I had outside, which is great if you live someplace with fluoride in your water or it's chlorinated. You'd want the water to sit out for a while to outgas any of those chemicals before you started brewing the compost tea. Now, this is an aerated compost tea, which means that it will be safe to spray on plants. You can also make a compost tea that's not aerated, and in that case you would just be drenching the area where the plants are growing or watering your seedlings with it, but not necessarily spraying it on the plants. So I'm choosing to spray this, so that's why I'm using the aerator. And I'll show you in a couple of hours what this is going to look like once it starts actually bubbling, and then you know there's life in here. You can see I've got the wire wrapped around the handle of the bucket so that bag, tea bag, basically it's a paint strainer bag, won't float off anywhere. And I think the water level is pretty far down, but just in case, I've put one of those things where you set your wet boots and shoes on. If there is an overflow, it won't fall over the wood floor. Okay, see you in a couple hours. All right, just shy of 3 hours, and it's already foamed up quite a lot. I'm gonna leave this overnight, and we will see what it looks like tomorrow morning. Here's the biodynamic calendar, and I misspoke. It's actually this afternoon that we already go into the root phase. So by tomorrow morning, if this is looking bubbly and smelling like a fresh, clean creek kind of a fragrance, I'll go ahead and mix it and feed the garlic in the morning. Let's go spray the garlic. Woohoo! It's the perfect moment because can you see all the dew forming on the tips of the grass? Notice there's no blue sky, it's all overcast. This is the ideal moment. So the bottom leaves that have a little bit of yellow on them and some of the tips that have a little bit of yellow on them, that was when they were emerging and they caught that last couple of frosts. in addition to doing this, that's the sprayer here. In addition to doing this, before the next fairly decent rain that we'll get, I will move the mulch around and pull some of it back and add a little bit of the seaweed to under the leaves, just to give the soil microbes a little bit more. This is strictly going on the leaves. Hopefully you can see that. The reason to do it on a day when it's overcast is that microbes in an aerobic compost tea do not have sunscreen, and if the sun is out, everything that gets sprayed would just be killed by the ultraviolet lights and the bright sunlight. So you want to do this, if you choose to do this, you want to do it on a day when it is overcast. So I will continue this. I'll be back in just a moment. The guardian of cabbage is on patrol. Thoroughly wash your stone aerators as soon as possible when you finished spraying, because the bio slime created by the little microorganisms will clog the stones up. Do not use soap, just scrub with warm water. That'll do it. See the bio slime on the tubing, it all washes off. So a little bit of bio slime that I need to clean out of the bucket, and then I just finished rinsing out the paint strainer bag. Everything will dry and be ready for the next use. I will see y'all tonight by the wood stove for the next chapters in Original Wisdom. Hope y'all are doing well. Till then.